and welcome. There we go. Thanks, Caiden, for unmuting me. This is why we have a producer, guys, right? This is why Caiden is here. Welcome to the Pop Culture Corner, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this video because we have a very special show for you tonight, and I can't wait to get started. Tonight we're going to be talking to Dave Brown, who is a film producer, actor, management. He literally does it all, and that's who we love to talk to here. People who are just they're involved in it all. As he said himself, he's kind of the middleman in the industry, and I can't wait to get started. So we're gonna bring him in right now and get this thing going. What is up, Dave? Thank you so much for joining us, man.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? Good to meet you, Austin.
I'm doing well. Yes, you too, man. Good to meet you. I'm so excited. Look, growing up in middle school and high school and even afterwards, I loved being a part of the film community here in Las Vegas and doing short films here, doing the film festivals here. And obviously you're in LA, so you're kind of the next level, in the big leagues over there. But obviously that's the one thing I think we have in common. We started acting. Acting is where it all began for us. And so let's start there. You run a film festival, and I know you're a producer and all that, but where did it start for you, man? Where did your love of acting all begin for you?
I think, it started, my father's a pastor at Third Baptist Church in San Francisco. And so,
that's awesome.
You always had to do, well, I mean, it was one of those things that, they wanted you to do, but I took to it. And that's like doing the Easter plays and doing all the different plays at church and stuff. So it started, I think that started it and struck a match there. But, I was really involved in athletics and playing basketball in high school, winning championships and stuff, and then going to college and playing, college and stuff. But then it really kicked in. I think one of the movies that really touched me, even going to a black college like Morehouse, was School Days. And when that movie came out and I saw that, I was very enlightened by the fact that, number one, they were shooting on our campus. And, back then, so, you got there and you start saying, oh, they shot this over here, you shot this over there. And then I fell in love with of doing production and stuff at the school. But then I really fell in love with just wanting to be in front of the camera and stuff and just knowing what that camera can do. And so Spike Lee had back when I was at Morehouse, we had to do all our general studies at Morehouse, but then our major classes we had to take over at Clark because we didn't have a film production at that time. So when Spike Lee was at Morehouse, he took a class by the name of his name is Dr. Eichenberger. And Dr. Eichenberger was a big time teacher in cinematography and everything. And so that was my teacher as well. And so it was a great experience to take those classes. And before we had graduated, we had to do a short film.
Cool. Yeah.
I had to do a short film, and there were a lot of great short. Like, what do you do with them after you get a grade on them and they just sit on the shelf? And so when I came to Hollywood, there was two places to go to. It was to go to New York or go to LA. And one of my great friends who was mentored me into was the only person I knew when I came to LA was Morris Chestnut. And he was the one that told me, he said, look, if you're going to New York, what are you going to New York for? Do you want to do plays or do you want to do films and TV? Which one do you want to do? I said I want to do films and TV.
Yeah.
He said, well, you got to go to LA. So you got to be that fish in the big pond with all the other fishes, and you got to make sense, and go do it. So he was my eyes and ears, and I gotta commend and thanks Morris because truly is a brother of mine who really showed me the ropes out here, and that's odd. A lot of people don't get people to give you that lane of or should I say driving in a car and he's the high beams telling you the do's and don'ts, like do this, don't do that, and just imagine being dropped into Hollywood not knowing what to do. In my case, I had someone that was in the business that was hot, and he told me, and that's one of the things we should do is always work with one another and help each other get to the next level. So that's what got me in, started, and I started doing a lot of things like Mike, a lot of different movies and stuff. Was on Saved by the Bell back in the day. And then,
Wow.
everything started to really work for me. And then what I just started doing is just understanding that the art of knowing people, not
That's it.
about what you know, but about who you know. And that became a great thing for me, to where I learned that people are, you got to build relationships. And that's what the key thing is. Relationships, everything in life. So
Exactly.
that's where I just understood that. And I just started saying, okay, well, let me go ahead and let me make this happen, and just get that, that chance to do these type of things. So the business for me was pretty much know everybody, get to know everybody, but then see how you can navigate in Hollywood and use everybody's, numbers. That's what I say, relationships. Your black book is everything. And so that's
Exactly.
what I ended up doing. So I would have these events, and it started off with my birthday party in LA. And when I would have my birthday party, everybody in Hollywood would be there. You would have Wesley
Jeez.
Snipes. You would have the Wesley Snipes there. You would have Kill on there. You had everybody that you can think of on the arts and on the music and TV. Everybody would be there.
Right.
And so it came out to a thing where they would go, okay, I would have all these parties, but then at the end of the day, I wouldn't let you. Only could get in is if your name was on the list. That's the
Right.
only way you can get in. And
Right.
so when I would do that, I wanted to bring everybody in Hollywood together. And that's my thing, is out of sight, out of mind. How can I put you down if I don't see you? Then it gives everybody the
That's right.
opportunity to see who's in the house and be like, oh, that's such over there. That's and then build. And so that led into me really building a brand in LA. And that's one of the things I can say that it's hard for a lot of people to do. But yeah, I built my name in Hollywood as a brand. Everybody knows Dave Brown. And a lot of people may not know the face, but until they go, oh, but they do know the name. And so the name is, and I think the only thing you own in LA is your name. And if you dirt that, you're done.
Shoot.
So that's pretty much the start of everything in Hollywood.
Wow. Dude, that is absolutely, that's amazing. That's inspiring. I love that. And you mentioned two really great things there that I remember, to also just when you start learning about Hollywood and film and all these things. It's like you said, building relationships, right? It's all about people and all that. But I think at the same time, right? It's like we talked a couple weeks ago to a stunt double for Ryan Gosling and Christian Bale, and he was telling us, like when he can't be their stunt double, right? They rely on him to get the right person to be that person and to trust him. And so, talk a little bit about that and running a film festival. Especially with, I know, like you said, Morris is a big supporter. Jamie Foxx is a big supporter
Yeah.
of the festival, and
Yeah.
and how important are those relationships when branching out and doing something like a film festival and
It's
different things like that.
it's very important, and it's crazy, Austin. It goes back to the person that birthed you. If we don't ever listen to our mothers are the ones that always tell us, the right thing, and we always look to our mothers to say, hey, am I making the right decision? And what I
Yeah.
was doing is, it was crazy because I was talking to her. She really came at me, and she kind of hit me kind of hard. She was like, okay, you didn't build your name up in Hollywood. Everybody knows who you are. You throw these wonderful events. Everybody comes. They go home. They get drunk. They go home. They get a DUI. They go home. They may be abusive. Yo, what is your purpose?
Mm.
And it hit me kind of hard.
Mm.
And what she was trying to tell me is, she says it's time to get back on track, figuring
Yeah.
out what your purpose is. And so then I started thinking about it, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do a film festival. And then she said, well, if you're going to do it, then make it happen.
Yeah.
You got your fingertips on Hollywood, make it happen. And it's crazy also because I came in and I said, I'm going to do it. I was talking to some people and I said, I'm going to do a weekly film festival. And they said, a weekly film festival? That'll never work. And I was like, why you said it'll never work? They said, because film festivals are once a year. And then I said, well, why should you have to wait once a year to be seen and miss all this work in between?
Ooh,
and I said,
good.
At the end of the day, I know how Hollywood works, you know, and Hollywood, they always ask you, they say, what's the last thing you've done? And, you know, and if you did a film 2 weeks ago, you know, that film won't come out to next year. Nobody wants to wait that long. You want to get the instant gratitude, or you want people to see it so you can do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And so what I did was I said, I told this person, it's crazy. I told this person, I said, I'm going to do it. And I said, you're only telling me that it won't work because you like my idea.
Yep.
And that's what people have to understand. Whenever you have an idea, sometimes when you hear people saying it won't work, you can't listen to them. You got to do it yourself and make it work and just say, hey, I'm going to make it happen. And what ended up happening? I'm right here 9 years later with a beautiful film festival at the TCL Chinese Theater going into my 10th year in January. And that was something that they told me I could never do. And so I had to prove them wrong, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's a great thing, but it's also just a wonderful situation just to see people create. And, you know, whether, because, you know, we show short films, web series, trailers, documentaries, and full features at Indie Night.
Wow.
And so it's great to give everybody the opportunity. The common goal is to get to the big screen. So why not start on the big screen? Why not give everybody that opportunity to where you can show your art if you're an actor, if you're a writer, if you're a director, if you're a producer, you know what I'm saying? Or even if you just love to watch films and want to critique. Yeah. We have that down at Indie Night. And we had so many great people there that came through that really bounced. Jules Taylor, who showed his short film down at Indie Night, who's a great writer, came out of USC, and it was crazy. He brought this film, and I showed it. And at that time, I had Tatari Turner hosting that day. And when he was hosting, Tatari was like, I said, Tatari, this is a great film right here. I want you to see this. He saw this film. It was great. And then he took this guy, the CAA, got him signed with CAA. Right? Whoa. Jules Taylor.
Whoa.
After he got signed with CAA, his first movie that he wrote was Creed 2.
Wow.
Right? Now, what I'm about to tell you, all this happened in a 3-year span. Now, watch this. He wrote Creed 2. Okay? Then, after writing Creed 2, he wrote Space Jam 2. So, yeah, the one that just came out, he wrote that.
Right? What?
And then, after that, he wrote this movie called They Cloned Tyrone. And what he ended up doing was he ended up getting an opportunity to direct Jamie Foxx, John Boyega. It was a great cast. And he directed and wrote it. And he's doing great things. And then the next project I hear he's going to be writing is Star Wars. So you got to understand this. If there are chances, people get, all it is opportunities, that you're giving people opportunities to do these things, to have the opportunity to show your art, because you never know who's in the audience. And what I try to do is bring people like a wonderful sister of mine, Robbie Reed, who's one of the biggest casting directors in Hollywood. And she comes down and she looks for talent. She's been doing it now for the past 7 years. Let's see, about 6, 7 years, going on 7 years now. And so she's been finding talent. And she's over all of the shows on BET. So she's over casting over at BET. So she comes down once a month, looking for all this talent, giving everybody an opportunity. And so I feel good just giving everybody the opportunity. And I get a kick out of, seeing people go to the next level. And I always tell people all this all the time, Austin. I say, we're so busy trying to network up all the time that we don't network across.
That's right.
And we don't work with the people that are around us, are the people that we got to get in and do stuff with, because the people up here, they're not necessarily looking back down. You know what I'm saying? But the ones down here, you create your own and you make noise, and it builds it up to where you'll be at the same level as them in life. So
exactly.
This is what Indie Night is for everyone who's being creative. And the thing about it is, we know if you go to Sundance, if you go to Cannes, it can be a little political because it's all studio films. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But there's a lot of art out there, a lot of art. And what I'm doing is I'm taking Indie Night on the road, and I'm going to do it in Miami, Atlanta, DC, Chicago, New York, San Francisco, Dallas, and I'm doing it once a month. And what I'm doing is I'm about to become the American Idol for films. So all the great films, I have Morris Chestnut is going to host it all throughout the United States, and we're bringing all the great films back to Hollywood. And I'll be staying attached to the films, giving everybody an opportunity to be seen. And that's what American Idol's doing, but this is just American Idol for films.
Wow.
Giving everybody an opportunity, no matter where you are, but you become a celebrity in your own city first, and then you come. If your film is great enough to go to Hollywood, then that's what I'll do. I'll show it in Hollywood at the Chinese Theater.
Jeez, that is, dude. I'm like overwhelmed. Like that is, first of all, that is so, because that's what I feel like I'm all about too, right? Is like, obviously in this business is all about contacts, but you got to find the balance of like you said, friendships too, and just people that see the same way that you do, that you can work together to build, to help others. And that's just everything about that is just, I love that. So like you said, so you're going to be expanding this to as that is incredible. So how is that going to work, and when does that start?
Well, it was supposed to start. It was supposed to start at 220, but of course we went down because of the COVID
right
situation. So we were supposed to start in 220, and then it pushed everything back. So now, we're still trying to see what's going on because of the new
Delta and all that.
Delta and everything that's coming through. But what I did during the quarantine, I'm one who's quick to make moves. So when they shut us down at the theaters, what I did was I called my guy, and I had them make theaters on my website. And so I built theaters on my website, 5 theaters. So I kept Indie Night going. It was the best thing I could ever done because everybody was at home. So I was still pushing it. And next thing you know, I'm getting movies from Africa, from China, all over the world, Europe, all coming in. And so I was able, and still able to show films. Like if they're out of the country and they can't make it here, I'll show their films on Indie Night theaters on the website, where it's being seen all over the world, and it's free for everybody to just go to IndieNightFF.com. So, go on there, you submit your films on there. Then after that, we select them, and then you go on demand, and you can see all the ones that we put up in the theater.
Wow.
So it's opening and giving everybody an opportunity to show your art, But, now we are back in the theaters, which we're glad to be back in. But, at the same time, we still have the theaters on the website for those that can't make it and be here. But it doesn't stop. It keeps going. It keeps going.
Yeah.
Keep moving on.
That is incredible. And then, of course, you mentioned, for me, any film fan out there, any lover of film knows, the TLC theater, Chinese theater. Dude, what is that like, being able to work there, being able to screen things there? That is a historic, place.
Yeah. Well, I started it at this place. When I started Indie Night, I started at this place in Studio City called the Zen Lounge, and I was doing it on an outside patio where I would put a screen up and everybody would come and watch the movies. And then there came a time when it was crazy, but at that time, the neighbors were complaining about the noise, so we had to shut down. And I was just like, whoa, but this is so great for all these actors and writers. I can't shut down too long. I gotta go. And then all of a sudden, of course, I get a call, and I know the owner over at the TCL Chinese Theater, and they were like, yo, come on over here. You're more than welcome to do it here. And I was just like, yo, perfect. And it was the greatest thing ever, and that's where I go back to, again, talking about relationships. It's all about who you know, not what you know. And when they know and you've done work with them, and done business with them. And, you know, I've done work with a lot of these people out here in the venues and stuff. But one thing I do is always cherish relationships. I value friendships and relationships, and understanding that, yo, I don't care if a person is an asshole, let them go. It's okay. Because at the end of the day, they gonna always have to cross back your bridge, you know, cross back across your bridge, and they will apologize one way or another. And if they don't say it outright, them just coming back in front of you is where they're gonna look at you, and their apology is gonna be like, no.
Yep.
And that's why I always tell people, I said, the person parking your car is the person that can be running the company. The person that's taking out the trash is the person that can be running the company. So always be kind to all those that are in the lower tiers of the entertainment business, because you know they're trying to get to the same place as you're trying to get as well.
Exactly. That is so good. That is so good. I love that. You know, of course, another thing that you mentioned that I think is so important, and I'd love to talk about, is branding. You know, it's obviously it's something we're trying to do here, right, with the Pop Culture Corner, and brand that as its own thing. You've done it. I absolutely love the way that you've done it, and reading about it, in that you said you've branded your name. Like, people in LA may not know the face, but they know the name. They're gonna know. And now you're expanding that, you know, to other cities. You already have different ventures in different countries and things going on. So how important is the process and the time to take to put aside to brand and to really, you know, put in the work, and what does it kind of entail?
You know, crazy that there you go. You there?
Oh, let's see here. You start to cut out again. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let's see.
Hello?
Oh, there we go. Can you hear
There
me?
you go. You there?
Cool.
There you
Yes.
Yep. It's crazy because I think a lot of people really don't understand this. I branded my name way before social media was even on the map. Everybody knew about Dave Brown USA back in the day before social media even came. And so today, it's kind of hard for me to swallow with social media what it is.
Sure.
And I'm talking about in the sayings, like, I remember one time, you know, I remember when social media came out, I was real private. You know, as far as I was blocked. I had it blocked because I didn't want everybody, follow me on. It was my private.
Yeah.
Private space, you know, on Instagram. There's people I knew close, and
Uh-oh. I think you cut out again. 1 second, guys. Let's see here. There we go. And
there you go.
There we go. All right.
There you go. So they said that, you know, you had a lot of, didn't have a lot of people follow. Well, I said, wait a minute, you don't understand. I know everybody. I know everyone, and you name it, all around the United States, because, you know, all around. I've been New York, Miami. I know everybody. Trust me, it's not one person I don't know, because everybody came through and you know, either came to my events, or, you know, I know them through other people. Most of my friends are in the business, and we do business together. So I know everybody. But I always said, it's crazy that everybody's going crazy over a like. You know what I'm saying? And I find that very hard to believe. Now, and I'm going to take it a step further, because when they told me, I remember going into an audition, and they said, how many followers do you have? I said, who cares?
Right.
Why? Who cares? And she was like, well, they want to know how many followers. I said, can you create believable behavior in the circumstances? That's the definition of acting. Can you create believable behavior in the imaginary circumstances? So then you give me the role. Or maybe the role is just not for me, but doesn't mean I'm not doing a good job. But it's not about who or how many people follow me. And they tried to do that because they tried to put influencers in movies and they didn't sell tickets. So you can't do that because otherwise I'll give you the cell phone. And if you say a person has 8 million followers, here's a cell phone, go sell it. You should be a millionaire.
Yep.
But that's not the case. And I think social media today is the lack of, should I say, communication that people don't do anymore. Instead of picking up the phone and calling the person to see how they're doing, they're just looking at their stories and saying, oh, they're all right, not knowing, or people are fabricating worlds that they just know they don't live in. And so building a name, I didn't have social media back then. I had to present myself a certain way towards people in order for them to follow me and they want to follow my brand. And I did a great job at it. And so one thing I understood is that, like I said earlier, the only thing you own is your name. And so what you have to do is that you got to make sure that, I was always catered to make sure everything was good. Everybody was good. Everybody had a good time, no matter what it was, or if we're doing a film or something like that. I was always, if I'm waiting, I'm always there waiting to get to know people that's there, see how we can work with one another. That's what I'm always doing. So the times of building the brand, come on. If Michael Jordan had social media back when he was playing, he'd be all right. He's crazy right now just because Nike alone is keeping the younger generation. They're buying so many Air Force Ones now that, Mike don't have to worry about anything. Billions and billions and billions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? But
exactly,
you got to think. He did this when there was no social media. For me back then, if you knew somebody was hot, you had to go see if they was hot. You had to go hang out with them. If you wanted to know if a place was packed, you had to go down there to see if the place was packed. You didn't have social media to look on. So it was able to give everybody opportunity. And actually, man, my last birthday party went down. My birthday is in March. March 6th was the last party that everybody went to before COVID hit. COVID went down next week. But I had my birthday party and it was over 3,500 people there. And that was the last, I call it the BC party before Corona, because that was the last party that everybody had a great time. So that goes to testimony showing it's like when you're able to have a brand that people love and want to be around, and you can open the doors. Because I look at, I have people come and say they found their wife at some of my events. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you hear these type of things, or they were able to meet somebody and strike a deal or whatever, I like to hear that type of stuff because that's what I'm all about. Giving everybody an opportunity, striking up that community of people that make Hollywood turn, and giving everybody an input, because that's what we don't do enough of. We don't have enough of those things to go to, So I continue to strive, and I call Indie Night that's my golf course. That is this. Most deals in the world are made on the golf course. So if I bring all the writers, the directors, the producers, the actors, all on the golf course, we gonna deal, and we gonna make deals. That's
right.
Most deals.
Exactly. I think we started to. Yeah, I think you started to cut out there at the end. Let's see. There we go. Okay, there we go. Back to some. You could say that last part again, because I think you started to cut off there towards the end.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was saying that course is it's like what I mean on the golf course. So if I bring all the writers, the directors, the producers, actors, everybody to Indie Night in entertainment business, that's my golf course. I'm helping everybody working with one another so we can make deals, and that's where that's And after showing everybody's film, we all go out to the network. And I'm going to say later it's going to be huge for everyone in Hollywood and entertainment business to come to and recognize this is how we get acknowledged. And you'll find the next writer, director, actor, producer, even the next film at Indie Night.
That is awesome. That is, and I love too, like you said earlier, the comparison. Like this is it's the film American Idol too. You know, it's
yeah.
I think that is a great selling point for it, because there's nothing like that out there, and there's so many filmmakers in these little communities, like living in Las Vegas, right? I know there's a very tight filmmaking community here and stuff, and to have something like that, be going around, it would be, I mean, it's such an amazing and incredible idea. But with that, as we hit the at the 30-minute mark, we do have to play an ad from our sponsor.
Sure.
And then we will be right back to continue the conversation. So, Caiden, if you want to go ahead and transition us into that.
We are brought to you today by Kai CBD, a Las Vegas-based health and wellness brand that crafts a full-spectrum CBD hemp-derived product line. Made with 100% love, the brand was created by a 20-year licensed massage therapist for her husband who suffers from chronic pain. Healing is what Kai lives for. Head over to their Facebook or Instagram and mention Pop Culture Corner to receive 10% off your order of all or any of their CBD-derived product line. Guys, their website is in the works. Head over to their Facebook or Instagram. The links are in the description below. Mention Pop Culture Corner and get 10% off. This ad is an easy one for me. Easy, as I use the products myself. They are wonderful. So head over, mention Pop Culture Corner, and get 10% off your order of all orders forever.
All right, we are back, guys. Welcome back. So we've covered a lot. We've covered branding. We've covered Indie Night. We've covered your career in acting, and we've talked about relationships. And that's one thing also that you do is you happen to be on the management teams, when helping out with Morris and Jamie and stuff. And so what's that like working with them and getting them appearances and stuff like that?
You know what? It's great. We're working. I've known, like I said, Morris for years. I've known Jamie for years, and it's when you see, both talented guys. You know what I'm saying? Very talented.
Yeah.
And also able to see them work together. They worked on a film together once upon a time. So they. When Foxx won the Oscar, I was there, and we've been friends since '95. So,
wow.
Knowing all these guys, Will, Charlie Mack, all these guys, and and Foxx, it's like I can say that when I write the book, Hollywood's Best Friend, it's going to be incredible because I pretty much known everybody, and just being around these guys and being able to meet everybody and meet all these directors, see talent, and be there to watch the talent. And I give, people don't realize how talented Foxx is, not only as a comedian, and, the younger generation probably don't understand how that he was a comedian first, and that
I grew up on In Living Color. On In Living. That was the Jamie Foxx show. I mean, his range and diversity is really unlike any other actor out there. I mean, it's insane.
It's crazy, and I think that his challenges. I mean, he is, have to be one of our. He's the top. Where you cutting everybody's head off 3 ways, comedy, and acting and in music.
Exactly.
Um, Eddie, but you know, the singing got one. Party all the time, party all the time. You know, Eddie got one, but
Yep.
you know, he didn't get that. He didn't take it to the limit like Foxx did. But he's being so talented, and right now, man, you know, he's got a lot of stuff that's coming out that's gonna make everybody go crazy. I know a lot of people saw Soul, and Soul was a great film. That
Yes.
was Soul was a great film at the time for everybody that was coming out of the quarantine at that given time. You know what I'm saying? Because it really touched your soul to make you really think what you're doing. So I mean, you know, for it to win an Oscar this year and everything, it was a great thing. So it was a great celebration for us. And you know, every day, man, it's a learning situation every day, and I learned so much from being around him, from Morris, from being around all you know, a lot of people that I know in the industry, because I'm the type of guy that I don't walk in and act, you know, so quick to talk. I watch and learn, and sometimes I watch and learn how not to be. Or you know what I'm saying? A lot of people want to learn. I learn and watch how not to be. Like if you see something bad, don't do it.
Exactly.
I think it's good. You know what I'm saying? But I try to teach myself that, you know, this is how I would handle it, or this is how I would do it. Hey, do that. Nah, I don't think we should do that. You know? So we all got tight brotherhood, you know, and we look out for one another and make sure that we're all straight. And like I said, we got some great stuff. You know, we just get to sign the overall deal over at Sony and Viacom. So we got a lot of stuff going on with films and stuff. So this is another thing we're looking at. And, you know, that's why all these films that are coming down the pipe, man, I'm looking at them saying, hey, I see these full features that come down that are great. You know what I'm saying? I like to go and say, hey, I got one. Here you go.
Right.
You know, to give everybody the opportunity. So it's a wonderful thing, and I really look forward to it and enjoy it, actually, you know?
Yeah. That is amazing. That is amazing. And I tell you what, I've always been like one of the biggest fans of Jamie Foxx. I've been following that dude's career for years. Like I said, I grew up watching him and the Wayans on In Living Color. It was funny. Like I never watched SNL. I watched In Living Color, and so that was my SNL growing up and stuff. And I've always admired his career and his range. His range is just it's up there amongst the greatest, really, in my opinion. The other thing that I wanted to bring up, and yes,
and we got him going back to comedy.
He's going back to, he's doing another comedy. Oh, good.
He's going back to comedy. He's got some things coming. We got, it's gonna be electrifying. Trust me. He's got so much material.
Man, I cannot wait. Because even his stand-ups. I remember watching some of his stand-ups. I cannot wait. That is awesome. But also one of the interesting things too that I saw in there that I had to ask about is you have a water brand. And
I had a water brand back in let's see, like 2005. It was Bling H2O water, and it was very unique because everything in life, when you look at things that's high end, but then you look at water, nobody understands that the water there is. We were selling our bottles of water, but it had Swarovski crystals on it. It was Bling H2O, and I remember we were selling them in Vegas at Tao for like 100, at the Mirage for 75. You know what I'm saying? But you think about it, it's like the perception of bottle service was about how many bottles were on your table. You know what I'm saying? Like if you had bottles on your table, you was balling. So just think about it. If you don't drink, but then you got this bottle of water that got Swarovski crystals on it, and then you can take it home with you, and you're drinking water. Now that's when people look at you and go, oh, he got money because he got that Bling H2O water. And so that's what we end up doing. And surprisingly or not, right before Michael Jackson was going to do his last tour, before he passed away, and he ordered like 500 cases.
What?
Yeah. And then and when they ordered them, they put all the orders in, then he passed away and everything got locked down. all his estate and everything. So I
Right.
remember my partners and I talking about like, oh man, he ordered all these bottles and but that's how we knew that it was all about that. So then we it's still going on. My guy Kevin still has it. We sold the brand, and so he still has stuff going on. And now I'm into working with Jamie Foxx, where we have a new alcohol called BSB, brown sugar bourbon, and so it's really tasty. It's great. We got the Glasses Company, which is Privé Revokes, which is good, and then we got backpack called the Whiz Pack, which has a speaker on it. So we got a lot of things going on in the works, man, that are really popping. So
Yeah.
and then we got the book coming out, which is called Act Like You Got Some Sense, and it'll be dropping October 19th. And that's Jamie Foxx's first book. So we've been staying busy, man. We've been cooking, as well as with Indie Night, everything all above, man. It's been a wonderful blessing through all the times and everything that's going on right now.
Yeah.
It's been a blessing.
Yeah. And that's incredible. I'd love to hear that. That's what I love to hear about too. Is obviously when the pandemic hit, I think as creatives, that obviously it was a roadblock, but it also became a challenge. And how do we continue to create? In this environment, this new kind of thing going on here. And so it's very cool to hear that he's been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and that there's a lot of stuff in the works. With that, as we kind of start to
Right.
come to a close here, I did want to ask you, man, of all the stuff that you do, what would you say has been the most exciting part? I mean, you've been in management, you've been in acting, you've been in producing, you've been with the film festivals. What's been the most like that's gotten you going, man, this is
Well,
what it's all about. This is what I've dreamt of,
I think I think it's the whole layer of it. You know what I'm saying? The Indie Night is really got me just seeing so much talent and not and talent that's out there that people don't recognize, and being able to give everybody that stepping stone. Like when you look at this photo behind me, that photo behind me has all the greats. And I look at that to remind myself all the time how great I could be, and why I see those are all the comedians you can ever think of behind.
Wow.
And so if you can find a diamond in the rough, somebody out there that's really talented, and to give them opportunity, man, it's a blessing. It's a blessing, and it's a God-given talent that he has given me to even be able to spot talent and be like, yo, let me take this person to such and such, because I know this person can be good and will be big. There's a young lady that I'm gonna tell you to watch out for. Her name is Madison Reyes. She's on the TV show. She's the lead on Julie and the Phantom on Netflix.
Okay.
Julie and the Phantom. Okay. The young girl is gonna be a star. She's gonna be a star. And Madison Reyes. I like to, to look at, and you know what? The one thing you realize and find out, you look at your kids and see who your kids are going crazy over. And that's who that's that person that's going to be a star. And so I had my daughter going crazy over this TV show, and I'm watching it, and I had I was able to meet her and her family, and I said, yo, this girl right here, she's going to be a star. So Madison Reyes is that next star that's going to be something that Hollywood is going to have to deal with on a great thing. She's going to be very entertaining for a lot of people.
Wow. It's like you said, man, that is so cool that you get to see people rise. You get to see people succeed and do all that. With that, I do want to say we'll go ahead and see if anybody has. We'll go ahead and answer like one or two questions from the chat. If anybody has one, you can go ahead and leave a comment there. And shout out to everybody in the chat who's been here watching. Also, by the way, thank you guys so much. You know, man, I think something that's was really interesting to me, and I don't want to misquote it because I want you to say it again. Actually, I want to quote this. I think it was a great thing that you said. It was you know, why something like why wait a year to get seen?
Oh
You
yeah.
know, instead of,
Why wait once a year to be seen and
mm,
miss all this work in between? I've had those, I had to
love
put that on
that.
a shirt to
I
let
love
everybody
that.
know, you know, I have it on a shirt where it says on the back, it says, why wait once a year to be seen and miss all this work in between? And we
Mm,
know that, in Hollywood, everybody always asks you, they say, what's the last thing you've done? And you say, I did a movie 2 weeks ago, but it won't come out till next year. So why not start now? Don't wait. Go for it. Challenge yourself. What can you do? I mean, the only thing you do is this, uh, you know, every place you go and you're trying to get a job, you're trying to go in for an audition, no means next opportunity.
mm,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Next opportunity.
yeah,
Just wait for go to the next opportunity. You'll never know what the outcome is. Every great fail. So to fail means you fall for it. Keep moving. You know what I'm saying? You don't sit and wait to see when is it gonna come to you. You go grab it. You go anything you do in life. Don't let anything slow you down. No, whether it be relationships, nothing at all. You keep going, keep moving. Don't stop because everything in life is about timing.
mm,
Timing in life is what everything is all about. And if you sit up there and get caught in a mode, or you're stuck, now you got to climb out. You keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. Now you got to climb out. You got to climb out, and when you get out, guess what? You still, you may out there to get some air, and so
mm,
you got to go ahead and go. Hey, I tell everybody this: stress is the number one killer in life. Don't stress. You know,
yeah,
always try to cope by going, hey, I don't stress at all. I just be like, okay, well, hey, just keep moving. You know what I'm saying? Don't get caught on the stress. Stress is the number one killer, and it takes over your body, puts you 6 feet deep. So if we understand that, how to deal with stress and how to just take anything that we have that we feel that, you know, uh, whatever's going on in our life, that we just take it and just embody it and just be like, okay, well, let me just move on and just keep pushing, push forward, and that's
yeah,
what, that's what makes a person, great.
yeah, yeah. And you're right, man. And it's all, and like you said, it's all about perception and attitude. Knows the next opportunity. You can look at it as the end, or you can look at it as a new beginning. And I
Right.
love that. I love that's your outlook and your advice. So we do have a question here. The Drifter says, so who was the person you mentioned that's doing Star Wars? I believe it's Jules Taylor.
Charles Taylor, he's supposed to be writing the
Yes.
next Star Wars. Yeah. Supposed to be given the
Wow.
opportunity. So he's been Star. They brought so many stuff to him. It's crazy. But he is that
His
next.
Space Jam was huge. Space
Yeah.
Jam was huge, and it was great.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
But remember, all this stuff happened in a 3-year span. That's what I'm trying to tell people. It will happen for you.
Yeah.
It will happen for you. It's all about how you push through and have that that strive. Just want to make it, and just keep moving. Even if they tell you nope, 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 you got to keep going, man. Everybody has to have a story in life about what's going on in order to make it. And I guess to guarantee you, in which I try to do always, is this. We comes in this, I'll talk about their journey in Hollywood at Indie Night. What they went through, and if we understand sometime the blueprint of what other celebrities and people gone through, it helps us open up the door and understanding what we're going through in life.
Yes. Exactly.
You
And
know?
then we have the next question here that was, okay. Oh, do you have a funny set story that you could share?
Oh, funny set story.
Funny or memorable set story. There you go. Oh, I think you might have froze again. let's see. One second. Let's see. We can. No, we'll bring him back in. See if.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, perfect.
There you go. A funny set story.
Yeah.
Oh man, we have so many of them, man. It's.
I know, dude. It's like you literally mentioned you've worked with all these great comedians and stuff, and been around all these great guys. It's like that's got to be hard to choose.
I think, the first movie that I was ever in and I played in was Blue Chips. With Shaquille O'Neal, Anthony Hardaway back in the day, with Nick Nolte and them back in there. And I remember just being on set, and it was a scene where they picked me out of everybody. It's like, okay, you're gonna steal the ball from the lead actor and take it out, and you're gonna come down, he's gonna guard you. And I'm like, wow. And I felt like I made it. Your first film, this back then, you always feel like I made it.
Right.
Not knowing
right.
that you got a long way to go, So but I take each moment to say that every film set that I have been on or worked on, I take something from each set. Even when I did, like Mike was fun. You know what I'm saying? Working with Bow Wow, and this is young Bow Wow and Morris, we had a great time on that set doing that. And it was crazy where you see so many kids. The kids will run up to me today and say, "You were like Mike." They will never forget it, they remember it. So it's been a lot of great experiences on all the sets. And I think even just watching all these things, it's been so many great movies, because I even go down more on set, even when Foxx was doing, when he did all of Miami Vice, I was on the set and all of them. Dreamgirls.
Which, by the way, Miami Vice is an incredibly underrated movie. It's phenomenal. That movie is phenomenal. Jamie and Colin Farrell are just killer in that movie.
And then of course Ray Charles being and being that he's my boy, it's kind of crazy, because when you watch your boy transform into an icon and really where I'm going like this, that's not Foxx anymore. That's Ray Charles. That is Ray Charles. You know what I'm saying? And that's what acting is all about. You know what I'm saying? It's like, when somebody makes you go, oh my goodness. So it's so many experiences, man. I just take it all in, and I just say, hey, to when you experience all these things, it doesn't do anything but help you to grow and to be a great person. Understand acting, understand directing, understand producing, which is great. I had a chance to produce a horror film called The Warning, which was which was really good. We had it on Amazon and everything. So, but you learn from your first project, even when you're producing, how to produce your next project. And every time you do something for the first time, it's going to be challenging, but then you learn how to can go around. Big thing. There we go. So to establish those type of being able to go through those type of times in your career and see these things, it's really rewarding. It's great.
Yeah. That is amazing. I mean, that's why did you get to hang out with Jamie during like all the Dreamgirls and Ray and all that?
Yeah, Ray, the movie Power he did.
Oh my
Netflix.
Gosh, okay, I love that movie. Project Power was great. That was a great movie. Yeah. And I want a sequel to that one. That one for him and that was so good. That was so good.
Dominic, she did a great job too as well. Great actress.
That was her first, and she's gonna be big, man. I think I think she's gonna be a great rapper. I want to hear her do some more rap.
She's a great actress, man. She's another one that you got to look for. She's really great.
Yeah,
Really great.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, man. As we kind of reach the hour mark here, I want to, dude. You have so much knowledge, and you've been involved in so much stuff, and I can't thank you enough for taking the time to come and talk to us, and I've loved this. I've learned so much. I mean, this is all the talk that I love, man. And you know, I've loved film since I was a little kid. You know, I've loved everything about it, from the behind the scenes, from film festivals, and how actors, you know, get into the process and all that. So this is awesome, man. And we'd love to have you back if you're available sometime, for sure.
Yeah, and you know, and it's crazy because you know I was in Caiden's film too. One of the ones he directed, and for his school, and so Caiden.
Shout out producer Caiden, man.
Yeah, man. His steps are gonna be. I see his knowledge of filmmaking and you know being around it in all his life, and I think you got a great producer there, and I think you guys should formulate something, shoot something, man, send it our way so we can put it up at Indie Night, because he has a great knowledge of filmmaking. So anytime you guys, questions or whatever, call me. Want to know? Caiden knows I'm Uncle Dave. I'm gonna give him great knowledge about it. So much love, and thanks for having me on the Pop Culture Show, Corner Show.
How cool. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. And with that, guys, we will see you next time. Make sure and be tuning in. We got a lot of stuff coming up, and we do it for you, and we do it for the culture. We'll talk to you next time. Peace.